Okay, hi everybody. We're working through the diploma prep material. This is the chapter on trigonometry, and we're looking to solve a fairly basic trig equation here. And the reason we're focusing on these is because even when you get the more complicated equations, at some point they are going to reduce down to equations that are this straightforward. And so you just got to be able to solve these. Now, let's first of all take a look at the domain over which we're working. Now, notice we're in degrees. But notice that the domain that we're working on here is negative 360, which is a negative rotation starting on the positive x-axis and going clockwise all the way around. And then we're working out to positive 360, which means we're starting on the positive x-axis and we go this way around. So there are two fairly substantial parts to that domain there. The cotangent of theta is equal to 1/3. I don't really like working with cotangent, so I know that cotangent is 1 over tangent, and then I'll reciprocate both sides so that the tangent is up in the numerator, and I get that tangent is equal to positive root 3. First thing I want to notice about that is that it's positive, which means quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. That tells me right away that I can expect to get 4 answers. Okay, 2 answers in quadrant 1, 2 answers in quadrant 3. Now I look at my reference angle, and the reference angle will be the inverse tangent of root 3. Okay, and if I go to my calculator or think about my unit circle or whatever, I'll get right away that that's got to be 60 degrees. So what this means is, now I've got 2 quadrants that I'm working in. So I've got quadrant 1 angle, or angles, and I've got quadrant 3 angles. Okay, let's think about this first of all in terms of the negative rotation. So the first negative part of the negative rotation starts here on the positive x-axis, it rotates this way. My reference angle is 60 degrees, so this must be negative 120 in quadrant 3. Follow that around, and that's going to take me all the way up to quadrant 1. Now, again, my reference angle is 60 degrees. I go almost all the way around, so in quadrant 1, that'll be negative 300 degrees to get to that terminal arm. Okay, now that deals with the 2 intersection points on that negative rotation. So now I jump to my positive rotation. Starting on the positive x-axis, I rotate counterclockwise to that first point, and that's 60 degrees. That's my reference angle, so 60 degrees. And if I follow that and keep following around, I get into my third quadrant. Now, I end up at 180 plus that reference angle, and 180 plus 60 will be 240. Okay, and so those are the 4 angles that I was interested in, and they correspond to those 4 points that I circled.